But this is a huge test for him, man, because Bivol is the truth, especially at 175. I'd say he's the best fighter at 175, and for him to step up and
way of winning, in my opinion, is not looking for the KO, use his footwork, his length, take his shots that he sees are there, and just have his defense on point and just make sure. Yeah,
I say
like
I'm
it
calling
too.
the 11th round TKO. That's a
Woo!
me.
Passing out the medicines. We've been on that rock star regimen, knowing that I'm heaven sent, higher than I ever been. I got a problem with.
What's going on, guys? This is Totally Blitzed Fight Club, and today we talking boxing with your hosts. These are Paul, Pick'em, Win'em, Concha, and I'm joined with.
Hey man, this that boy KK, aka the Don PY, aka Mr. I no longer understand, I overstand. If you don't know what I mean, fuck you.
I overstand. I ain't never heard no shit like that.
Overstand. That was a whole thing today. But look about Mark. Hey, Mark, tell me who you is, man.
Man, you already know what it is, man. It's Mark. You already know. But I'm here to talk that boy Canelo, man. Pound for pound king. Number one in the world. Yes, sir, man. I've been waiting for this fight for real.
They're gonna be squaring now, and where are they at? T-Mobile, Las Vegas, somewhere where they know about fighting. Brought to you by DAZN. I don't think there's any other boxing card on this weekend, or at least one worth mentioning, because the data is Canelo's day. Like boxing, everyone steps to the side. Like it's Canelo.
Yeah, it gotta be. I don't think there is.
It's Canelo's whole week, man. It's Cinco de Mayo's this week. Like
he fights every year on Cinco de Mayo, man.
That's crazy. That's fire.
Yeah, they gonna have the Mexicans out there going. But like, here's my thing, right? So I'm a big fan of Mexican fighters in general because I like the Mexican. I like their style. They're very aggressive, very fast, very fluid. I like the Mexican. I like the Mexican fans. Them boys do relentless. They don't give a fuck. But like, is Canelo the greatest Mexican fighter ever? Or is that like a Juan Morel, Marquez, or like them boys? But is Canelo the greatest Mexican fighter?
Julio Chavez.
Yeah, right, yeah, it's probably Chavez is probably number one.
Or it's like 100-0 at one point.
100-0.
Or no, some crazy.
It was like 90 something and for real.
90 something and
Yeah, and they filled up like millions packed into stadiums to watch that.
He was different. But no, I think Canelo, when it's all said and done, he probably is gonna be the best Mexican fighter of all time. You could argue right now, people are gonna say, other people are, but you really could say he is, man. Just the accomplishments he has, and like you could really put him up in the GOAT status. Honestly, he's gonna be up there when it's all said and done. Right now, what we seeing is his prime, bro. That shit's crazy. This is like his real prime. Like he's hitting that, like he's locked in. Like he hit that zone, like when just when those athletes hit that zone. That shit's crazy, bro. For real. Cool. That you really witnessing his prime right now. That shit's cool to see.
Is this your first Canelo fight, Paul, or you watched him before?
I've seen I never actually sat down and watched I just kind of seen clips on Twitter when it happened. So this is my real actual Canelo fight. And it's so funny because we started the Fight Club, expanded into this repertoire here. And I think Canelo's fight was just starting getting mentioned, and like Bivol was his opponent. And I immediately was like turning to Mark, is like, is Canelo, like this guy even have a shot? Or is Canelo just like, being the casual I was like, oh, Canelo's gonna beat the shit out of him, or is there actually a hope for this young lad who's going to fight Canelo? And he's trying, oh no, bro. Now that I'm actually got my feet in the water, I'm learning things. I like even the odds. You would think it's Canelo like a minus 10,000. Like it's he's like minus 400, and the other guy's plus 350. Like it's really close. Like in boxing, those are super close odds. And like as I've learned more and more, like the more hyped I've got about this fight in particular, because this is Canelo. The more I've learned about boxing, the more I can really truly see how great he is for the things he's doing. Like the weight class that he's moving and doing. I'm just like, wow.
The run he's going on, like the end of last year, like he went on like, I think it's like a 6-fight run where he was just taking everyone's belt, just fighting every couple months. Like he's really in his prime right now. That shit is crazy, bro. And this fight is a real test. People say that he was ducking certain people, But this is a huge test for him, man, because Bivol is the truth. Especially at 175. I'd say he's the best fighter at 175. And for him to step up and take that on, crazy, man.
I feel like Canelo is the best champion that we got. Besides for Errol Spence, he's the only person that you really see consistently fighting names. Like he's consistently fighting names, consistently fighting champions, current champions, taking their belts while defending. Like Paul made the point earlier, while defending belts at the lower division at the same time. So like he's probably the best champion that we got. Like in all the classes, I feel like even though he's number one pound per pound. I feel like he never lost to Floyd if he didn't take that Floyd fight so early in his career. Like
he was like what, 22?
22.
Bro started his professional career, I think at 16 maybe. Like he was came out the womb fighting shit. So
man.
That's Mexico's pride and joy. And I always take like joy watching Canelo fight because I feel like when you root for Canelo, you kind of rooting for an entire nation with you because he keeps Mexico on his back.
Hey, I don't know if y'all know that, but I'm half Mexican, so like you already know where my bloodline rocking on this fight. I'm unbiased though. I'm biased.
I was taught how to fight by Mexicans, so I gotta root for my boy Canelo.
Nah, Canelo, bro. If Canelo ever fights in Mexico, that shit would be flooded. He could probably draw. He probably would draw 100,000. I'm telling you, man. Fans go crazy at Canelo's fights. I've been to a Canelo fight in Miami, but it was during the COVID, so like it wasn't like sold out. It was like reduced, but that shit was still lit.
The cartel would probably put a ceasefire just so all the leaders could be at the fight.
He gotta do a home fight, bro, because that shit would be legendary. They gotta get like the biggest stadium they got down there.
Well, as we're giving Canelo his flowers and everything, because it's about to be National Canelo Day this weekend, we have I really enjoyed the fact that like he started off at like 160, he got his belts right and then moved up, or what was it?
154.
154. Okay, but he went from like counter puncher when he was this when he was smaller in weight and he had like that knock. He still has the knockout power, but now he's like walking people down as he's putting the weight on and like using his body punches to really break people's will and just like really just like stop them and like. I don't know. Body punching to me, that's being able to knock people out with this, like taking the air out of them and punching their liver, and it's not like a face knockout, but like really breaking the machine in front of you.
Yeah,
he's scary, and the more weight, the harder he hits.
Man, nah, bro. The way he can go like left hook to the head, left hook to the body, and just that's a deadly punch, man. And Canelo, he's like on a Terminator mode right now. He just be coming forward and just walking the people down, bro. He's on a different mode right now.
I think Canelo became the best fighter in the world to me after I watched the Triple G fight, because I probably got into Canelo a little bit before then. Like I probably seen a little bit of. Then I was back when I used to call him Saul.
Oh, Canelo.
So like once I seen that Triple G and I seen his weave game, I seen this, and he just looking at Triple G like, I'm like, this is like real life. I don't think this is anime shit. Like that's when I realized I was like, I don't think nobody's touching this dude. I don't think anybody really can do that. Especially he has punches, he has hooks that can put you in the hospital. Like he has genuine hooks that can kill. And like throws them shit precisely every time. Like it's scary.
But he's so precise and like his precision is insane, bro. And the way he can just. He knows all the right movements, and ever since he fought Floyd, he's gotten his defense up like crazy. Like when he fought Daniel Jacobs, that one viral video, and he weaves like every punch, that shit. And then he's like, bro, that shit is ridiculous, bro. He learned all that shit from fighting Floyd. He puts that shit on display.
We do have to. We all love Canelo, but he is fighting Dmitry Bivol, 19-0 WBA light heavyweight champion.
We all love Canelo.
And
I thought this was just a Canelo appreciation episode.
Hey, this is a pro Canelo podcast for sure. But
we gassed him.
Bivol is the bigger guy, naturally bigger, longer, fast hands. He is smart. He's like those like Russian fighters where they don't they're very calculated, where they just really every punch is thrown perfect and they don't waste punches. they're like a machine. They're doing it by the book, and they're doing it perfectly.
Definitely a threat.
Like you said he's the biggest threat in the 175. You think?
Yeah, for sure.
Over people like the heavy hitter Arthur. I know I'm gonna butcher his name, but better Biv.
Yeah, man. I think Bivol is gonna be the best lightweight, and then for him to step up on his second fight in 175, but Bivol is a threat, bro. And I think he's gonna try to display his boxing ability, his IQ. I think he's gonna come in there with a good game plan for Canelo, and it might go into decision, but I don't think he's gonna be able to get a win in decision. He's gonna have to try to knock out Canelo, I think.
I don't like him I don't see a knockout on either side because I know he has some power. I mean, 11 of his wins are knockouts out of 19 wins, but those are his first 11 fights. And then once he moved up in competition, it's been like 6 straight 12-round unanimous decisions. So he's very calculated. I like him, like you say, he has a good game plan. And Canelo, he's fought people like Kirkland, Triple G, Sergey Kovarov, who was his other 175 fight. And like, he's definitely a harder hitter than Bivol. And I just can't see him actually knocking out Canelo. I honestly think his best game plan is decision.
Canelo got a chin. You're going to have to bust him. Like, and his defense too. So like, you're going to have to really, but he got the boxing ability to land on Canelo maybe, but I don't see him winning a decision at all, though. And you know how the judges are gonna be for Canelo, man. People always complain about that.
Judging always plays a factor. But hey, I'm not saying he's going to win, but his way of winning, in my opinion, is not looking for the KO, use his footwork, his length, take his shots that he sees are there, and just have his defense on point and just make sure he doesn't get caught with any of them patented body shots to hook or anything to drop him. And maybe he can edge out the decision. But I don't think Canelo drops him either. I do see this going to scorecard out of everything. Just because
I do.
He's 175 is big guys, bro. Like Canelo's moving up to 175. He has power, but Bivol's fought people bigger than Canelo his whole career. So I don't see him getting dropped.
I mean, I could see something like Canelo like feeling the pressure of him having to come out and like put on a performance and maybe getting like frustrated, and Bivol putting together a good game plan, you know, just maybe keeping Canelo like confused and maybe Canelo not getting set or something. But I mean, I can maybe see that, but my prediction for the fight, I'm going with a late round TKO. I think Canelo
listening.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go. I think he's gonna break him down to the body. I think he's gonna have a slower start. I think like Canelo is gonna like eventually like open up more like in the middle of the rounds, and I think he is gonna maybe give up like the first couple rounds maybe, but I think eventually he's gonna start attacking that body because Bivol, if you watch, he does keep his arms a little open. He does leave the body open, and I think Canelo's gonna be able to eventually see that and be able to get his way inside and start. And then once he starts blocking once drop your hands, start blocking for your body, then he can raise his shots and go for that knockout. But I'm thinking a late round TKO, but I could see it going to decision too, because I think Bivol is gonna come in with like a good game plan and really.
Yeah, I couldn't ever imagine me like rooting against Canelo. I didn't even look up anything about dude. I think I spent more time looking up other red-haired fighters. The thing is, Canelo at least the greatest red-haired fighter of all time than actually looking up, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, if you told me bro was like part tarantula, I'd believe you. I didn't even attempt to look bro up. If you told me he had 8 arms, I'd still think Canelo could bust him. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a big Canelo enthusiast. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, your boys. It's like Floyd. Like Floyd didn't watch film. He already knew what he had to go in there to do. Niggas gotta adjust to him. He can adjust to any fight. Like that's how me and Canelo are. Like, I don't really gotta worry about the other dude when it comes to Canelo. I just make sure he goes out there ready to perform.
I will say the odds are really close for a reason. It isn't like it isn't lined up to be just like a walk.
I don't think it is. I don't think it's a dumb like idea to even try to put money on Bivol. Honestly, like you never really know because you don't really know. But I mean, it would be a big win too. Like, you know, if you cash, but at the end of the day, it is Canelo, so it's hard.
To fade my dog, Saul.
Canelo. Hey man, that's a goat.
All right, and it's a 12-round fight, correct?
Oh yeah, for sure. 12 round.
Over under 8.5 rounds. Do you see it going into the 9, 10, 11, 12?
Over. I'll say over.
Okay, over under 10. Do they see championship rounds?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I say I'm calling
too.
the 11th round TKO. That's a me. By Canelo.
Oh, by Canelo?
Yeah,
he's going in the 11th round. I think he's going to eventually break him down. I think it's going to be a close fight leading into the championship rounds too.
I can't wait to see it because I think my first question is going to be for the next episode is going to what makes Canelo the greatest? What makes him
his work ethic, man, bro. That man is we're not going to see a Canelo for a long time. Just like he stays in the gym. He's dedicated to the sport. He's dedicated to his legacy. He's in the gym, in and out. Like he fights the next day. He's back in the gym. Like he just doesn't stop and he keeps going. He fights as much as he can. And he's different, bro. You're not gonna see a boxer like that. Those guys are gone. Like the Manny Pacquiao's. Those guys are gone.
My bad.
I got nothing but respect for his work ethic because he's doing all that while having like one of the baddest ladies in all the boxers. Like, like he's still dedicated to the gym, even though he can't be at home with that.
Like, man, he is dedicated to the gym, bro.
Cut different.
And he's with the same coach he came up with, man. Since he was 15, he started with his dad, like Eddie Reynoso's dad, and then as Eddie Reynoso came in, he got older, he became the head trainer, and they just never left each other, bro. And that shit is crazy. Now he's trainer of the year multiple times. Like they got a crazy camp going on, and the thing about Canelo, you see him getting better every single fight, like he just keeps getting better. That's the crazy thing.
No ceiling. You don't think
he has no ceiling right now?
We haven't seen it.
Peak right now, and he says he's not going to retire anytime soon, so like he's really going at it. He's going to take out everyone in boxing.
I like how you put that. We'll never find another Canelo because he sounds like he's the only one that does this with tradition still. Like he's like
that, and just like consistently fighting too. I feel like he off rip has 2 official dates every single year. It's always early September and Cinco de Mayo. Like he fights those 2 days every year, like every time. Besides, I think during the COVID year, but he does it every single time. He loves September's card, and he always does Cinco de Mayo for his people. So he always fighting twice a year. And then a couple months last year, he fought like that. He went on that like little run and took everyone's belt and got undisputed. But we'll see, man. See if Bivol can pull off the upset.
I like Canelo to win. I ain't gonna go so crazy to say Bivol wins, but I like it to be decision, and I like it to be like a 7-5, like out of the 12 rounds type thing, like a super close.
Could be one of those where people are complaining.
Yeah, like the Taylor Serrano type thing, where like there's so many rounds that could have gone either way.
I hope that it doesn't go like that though, because then people are just. That's gonna be.
I don't think it'll be a war though. I do think rounds will be close. I just don't think Bivol is gonna get into a firefight with Canelo. I think he's gonna be very calculated, and it's gonna be kind of like Canelo's maybe he's landing the harder punches and more significant punches, but Bivol might be landing the better, like the more strikes out of them and more clean, like a better percentage. And those, but judging, that's where it gets all wishy-washy. That's why I can never go against that boy Canelo. Especially, I know it's not his home, but he's fought in Las Vegas so many times that's basically his home.
Yeah, facts.
So it's like Canelo, the greatest like pale fighter of all time. And I'm gonna get something out of y'all boys. Like all the pale fights, bro is pretty pale, like no tan in him whatsoever.
Just because if you can't give him the Mexican claim just because of what Julio Chavez did as Mexico back in like way back in the day when there was nobody else for Mexico. He then I was definitely say it out of the pale fighters because Julio Chavez had some tan in him. Yeah, he was one of the more tanner Mexicans.
I feel like somebody gonna pull out some Irish motherfucker that went like 110 and 3.
They're gonna say Jack Dempsey.
Wait. They're not Jack Dempsey. You're like, what about Jack? Hold on.
Rocky Marciano and shit.
No, right. They made movies about him, bro.
Hey, some white guys.
Movies. Where Canelo movies at? I'm like, damn.
Canelo gonna get a movie probably one day.
Yeah, I'm a director. I got you. Who gonna star in that book? You just want
shout out Bivol though. He gonna come out with a little
show.
fight.
Them Russian boys never get their ass beat like that. They at least put out a fight.
Yeah, he's gonna have to beat his ass to knock him out too.
I heard some crazy shit about while we're closing out. I heard some crazy shit about Russian steroids the other day. They say they were like a steroid knocked it out so good out there that they could literally pass any test. Like, it did not matter.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I forgot what that was though.
I was like, that makes sense.
Science. I believe it.
Like some people spend billions on military. They spend trillions on science. Like straight science.
Okay.
But any final rapping comments? Because I think we're all picked Canelo. We all know it's gonna be lit in that motherfucker. And I think we all think. I mean, I don't know. Kev's already rocking hard with Canelo, but me and Marcus think it's gonna be semi-close fight and throughout the middle rounds.
Yeah, facts. No, I think it's gonna be a little test.
I think it's gonna be close, kind of super close fight.
I think Canelo's gonna give up the first couple rounds.
Kev's more. Canelo obliterates.
Yeah, until Canelo gets going.
So does Canelo at least like have like the hardest nickname? Because you never heard anybody besides like 10 people call him Saul, and I'm like one of them.
I don't know even what does Canelo mean, because I always thought that was his name.
It means cinnamon.
I mean cinnamon.
Yeah, because he has red hair.
But that makes sense, but I didn't know what.
He had red hair with freckles, so they was like calling him cinnamon when he was younger. So then, and it's Canelo, so like that's just, right. And now it's so natural to call him Canelo.
Yeah, fucking Spice Girl Alvarez versus Dmitry Bivol.
It is cinnamon.
Hey, man. We just get you with some knowledge that you did not. No other podcast would have told.
Man, cinnamon is pound for pound in the world, though. Shout out Terrence Crawford, though, but Canelo's hands down pound for pound king now.
No Spence to it.
Cinnamon.
Just Spence, you feel me? Niggas don't throw out Crawford shout outs without throwing out no Spence. But hey, man, this has been another episode of Totally Blitz Fight Club podcast, you bitch ass motherfucker. And I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the nigga next to you. You feel me? But hey, I appreciate you for tuning in. Marcus appreciates you for tuning in. Paul appreciates you for tuning in. But hey, there's another Kevin in the background. He called you up.
Problem with being problematic. Get the light beam on me ready for electrostatic. Don't you step into this box if you're not batting. Cause my gang got tools. You can call them boy crap, man. This gang got rules, man. You better watch your passes. This ain't not.